now I wonder.
Salamat. Ejhay-Sager shared your stream.
Nabasa ka ba? Nabasa ka? Di naabot yung ano? Di naabot yung hose. Di naabot. Diyan sa harapan. Ito na lang sa likod. Kuskusin mo yan.
na ako eh. Kaya na nila natin eh, yung maraming kilometers. O ito. Sakay na nga. Uy, ano? Buking nyo. Buyo ay pagpo. Buyo. Ding. Ding yun. Hindi yun. Ding yun. Buking. Jollibee maliit. Bagong mo yan, pre. Bagong? Ayun o. Sabi na natin. Ano pre? Yan, pre. Bagong mga. Puta. Dito, Pita. Gansaya na kulay. Ano ka? Ito. Bagong yan. Scorpion. Scorpion. Ano yun? Lapitan natin. Discount rin niya. Hindi lapitan sa Sub-Zero yan. Ang Sub-Zero. Captain Police. Ba't Police? Ang edit ko sa ha? Ba't DSWD? Patol po natin yan, bro. Hindi pwede yung pang dalawaran dito. Walang kailangan ako ang tao natin. Police pang katubigan. Yan ba kayo? Sa tubig na nangyayari yan eh. Bagong yan. Tingnan mo, gumagalaw. Tiga. Alaga ni smugglers yan. Hindi yan. Hindi na po pwede. May tisapak. Ha? Lapitan natin para sa show. Huwag na kayo, boy. Boy, magkabraw ko yan, boy. Si Piatik. Sa bagong yan, pre. Di. Sa lagubang. Putang ina sa lagubang. Putang ina. Lambing na kuba yan. Di, bagong yan. Uy, putang ina mo. Isasalit na gago. Sabi nyo. Isasalit tayo na premier.
Ano yung ginagawa mo dyan? Kanina ko kayo nahanap ko. Magluluto na ako eh.
Kaya natin.
Kayo ka nga dyan.
Lumapad nga ako eh. Si Odi yan. Si Odi. Kataka ka nito. Bago na. Ano ba kayo? Hindi mo ba alam? Baka mamaya may batang tumaan dito matakot sa'yo. Mahimatay. Wala. Kayo nga natakot agad eh. Wala namin eh. Kasama ka na sa Snow White eh. Wala nga kayo. Nararo yung tao dito. Ako to. Hindi. Ano kayo dito? Ito yung nautang sa'yo. Teka. Yan ang kayo sa akong aso? Oo. Baby giant to eh. Bihira ka naman ako. Ano ang utang nila mo? Ito nga aso tayo. Sige mo yan. Tatak mo yan. Maniwala ka. Mas malaki pa utangin yung pag sinangin mo. Ayop yan. Huwag naman ka ako. Bigo. Ano pa bago? Penguin. Penguin tayo. Hindi ba ito talaga naman malalaman mo tayo? Ako rin, kalaban pa ng Joker. Yo guys, this is how it is.
iPhone 13 Pro Max 1 terabyte fully paid.
Zuck, Raven Stark say like the stream.
Si Ninyo eh. Nagalit ko si Hindi, sorry. Parang gago kasi ito may katawagan nga ako. Malaking halaga yun. Alam ko si Sino. Umiyak na parang ano ng bata. Para cellphone lang eh. Gagi nandun lahat tol. So, andito kami ngayon sa Laguna, Santa Rosa. Ando doon si Eddie Bidayo. Kukunin namin ngayon yung phone niya, tapos ihahagis namin dito. Ano na, Rex? Agawin mo ha, pasapasahan natin ha. Oy, ay! Hi! Oh! Oh! Oy, laway, laway! Oy, oy, oy! Oy, oy, babasag na dadan! Tawag ako manager ko may ibig. Hoy! Hindi na! Wala mo eh! Hoy! 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 Ang basang! Bala kayo dyan! Hoy! Ang basang! nga ako. Malaking halaga yun. Kala ko kasi si ano, si Mino, ano niya kasi. Ano hindi? Wala sa pala. Ano kasalanan yan? Kasi naman ni Mino eh. Tol, katawag ako. Gawa ko naman eh. Bibilan na lang kita. Bibilan 5110. iPhone 13 Pro Max yun eh. 5110 na kasi iPhone ko. Wala akong pero, tol. Oo, 5110, tulipid. Wala na. Hindi kasi sinira nila ulit ko. Nila Aris, ano eh. Hindi nyo eh. Ang gago kasi tol, wala na akong cellphone eh. Ba't umiyak ka? Para ka naman ng bata. Para cellphone lang eh. Lagi nandun lahat, tol.
Salamat. Bernard Pedico shared your stream.
Shoutout Bernard. Wait lang ha. May pinapanood lang ako.
Oo, sa'yo sa cellphone ko.
Zuck, Raven Stark say like the stream.
Ano naman, masyado ka naman kasi. Sorry na, sorry na. Pinarap pa lang namin, case lang, hindi ka mo nga lumutang mo yung cellphone mo. Case lang yun, oh. Case lang yun, oh. Lumutang yan. Tangina, kaya pala nakalutang. Ayop na yan. Surprise! Surprise! Bakit ka? Ay, talaga, pinaiyak ka ba? Wala pa.
Ngayon, paano natin makuha yun?
Wala na, di na natin makukuha yan.
Shoutouts for viewers natin yan guys.
Public na ako.
Jericho Roy Pingle shared your stream.
Pwede mo ito sa page mo dyan. Hindi pala ako.
Jenny Torres Opeña liked the stream.
Yo, shout out Dulce. What's up? How are you? Hindi pala. Tagal ah. Ilan ba ano na ito? 10,000 ka laksa.
May mana.
Jo Marie Gil Garcia liked the stream.
Nakabot.
Kirby Taniedo Soriano liked the stream.
Your turn to ban. Five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Your turn to pick. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
na nga lang natin sa ito.
Alliance's turn to pick.
Yeah, no, but you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Invoker, Sniper, Sven, Zeus, Tinker, they're probably literally top of the list of cores that TB doesn't want to play against.
The hardest counters to TB I've always, even though
Yeah.
Tinker's going to change conceptually, so it's a little different, but it was Zeus and Tinker. And Pugna, actually, is the TB kind of like the super top counters. Tinker's going to change, so you can't match the split push with your marches and stuff like that, but you have the burst.
I mean, it still doesn't feel like an easy game.
It does not.
TB.
I'm not saying that it, like,
No.
bam, it's a good TB game, but
No, for
that's what their
sure.
bans indicate.
I mean, let's see if they surprise us here, or if indeed they want this TB.
It has in the past also been decent versus SF because you get that aura kind of thing.
Okay.
Beastmaster.
Wait, what?
I didn't expect this at all.
Well, no, I don't
Okay.
think it, okay. And it's going to be carry SF.
Why'd you ban Pugna and Zeus? Or sorry, Zeus and Tinker. Yeah, Beastmaster. Beastmaster's like the Tinker's
Beastmaster's good
hacker.
against Tinker.
This is interesting.
I'm
Maybe,
very
it must just be like they
surprised.
played against Pure playing like some Tinker or something.
Yeah,
Like,
it's absolutely. It's got to be something from sort of
Yeah.
behind closed doors that Entity are pulling out and just trashing games with. But yeah, well, there we go. So interesting close-up for this draft. Very excited to see how this plays out for both sides. Indeed, for Entity. Of course, we have Stormer playing his signature Visage. We're going to get the pure SF in the safe lane. And then, yeah, Lions with the way they close things up. Carry DK coming out from Nico, baby. Limitless bringing in the Beastmaster as the last pick. I mean, all in all, obviously getting a Beastmaster as a last pick feels pretty good this patch. It's a solid off-lane hero. Going to have great impact. The Raw is going to feel very good for setting things up. And you have that damage follow-up, right? The Raw into the Mystic Flare. It's going to be a nice, solid, simple combo to get kills. But all in all, I think the biggest question mark, Fox, is just how much they can get done around the DK having that high priority, being that position one for Alliance.
yeah, I'm not sure. They better play some very fast-paced game though, because I don't know. I see this like Death Prophet, SF, and Visage. These cores becoming super potent. I actually think.
Sa kayo naman ng kabila, BKB ang kailangan.
Time for preparation. Good luck. Have fun. "30 seconds to
When you
battle."
play with Lena, you tend to get burned.
Ладно, смотрим дальше.
有没有神之一攻？
Level 5 pa.
Where are you going? First blood!
Broadcaster natin, guys.
Сбайтить на зомби, это было бы нормально. Байтить на визажа. Супер хорошо по итогу.
Смотрим сравнение игроков, что на Сторме 11 игр 64% винрейт.
用他285的移动速度走回去 TP 出来漏了一个兵的经验。死一楼在没有。
Quanto o Sky
Dire's top tower is under attack.
You've been burned.
Denied.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Strike me, coward. Will come back to bite you.
Ka ba doon, Ted? Ay.
Death and gold are linked.
Such was the end of Dire's courier.
Denied.
Dire's top tower is not on top of things.
Wait up.
Nag-ravage pa? Nag-ravage? 2042. 2042 kay kami.
Nuh-uh.
Nagbigawalan pa ako. Gusto niyo pa lumaki na.
You haven't the right. Death tax.
Killing spree.
Dire's middle tower is under fire. Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is in the wrong end of business.
Don't run off. Double kill.
Think of it as a new beginning.
It was not yours to
Radiant's top tower needs bandages. Dire's top tower isn't well at the moment.
Hindi yung ravage. Ano yung Asian shirt niya? Pero nagtaka ako. Kaya tapos na tayo. Bigay to bigay.
I come unseen.
Dire's middle tower is in the wrong end of business.
Habol pa kayo?
Killing spree. That wasn't too bright.
Radiant's bottom tower has uninvited guests. Dire's middle tower is under fire.
Well. Well. Kaya tubig.
No.
Tapang na shaman eh.
Haste.
Dire's top tower is not on top of things. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Gallant Radiant have fortified their structures. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Roshan.
Dire's bottom tower is on its way further down.
It's mine.
Radiant's bottom tower has a nasty situation. Dire's top tower isn't well at the moment. Dire just fortified their structures. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
Mine.
Radiant's bottom tower has a nasty situation.
Come get healed.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Sorry, Josh.
Radiant's courier was lost in the heat of battle.
Oh. Oh. Wow, ano to? Nunood ako eh. Bakit?
Death tax.
Timing ako. Walang bigay pa yung price. Sige, try mo muna. Pero wag na malayo.
Haste!
Wait up. Killing spree.
Town is in the wrong business.
Meron 27 na graphics. Ako nag-make.
Fierce and Dire have
Where are
fortified
you
their
going?
structures.
Sige, pick off na lang.
Dire's middle tower met its end.
Saan tayo lalaro? Pin? Oh, malapit sa...
Death and gold are linked.
Ay, hindi ako nakapag-access.
Thank you, my beauties.
Alliance ako. Ano tayo?
Don't run off. Come on, sprites.
Can't believe his birds even get away too. Really well played. Katomi even splitting some damage of the Mystic Flare. Two on high ground.
They're ready to try and chase down Alliance. Dakalis
At the moment,
trying to run. Look at the right clicks, of course, from Pure. You don't want to stand anywhere near this SF if you're, especially if you're one of the supports on Alliance. Dakalis will manage to live. Alliance doing a good job of getting everybody out of there alive. Nico Baby able to TP away in the trees. Limitless still around. Finally opts for a TP out himself. They will manage to get away. Nobody goes down quite yet on Alliance in that top move.
I'm astonished they all got away, to be honest. I thought at least one of the supports would die because you saw that damage. They all go negative armor when they're versus that Shadow Fiend aura. Pure, level 14, 2 levels ahead of his counterpart. Feeling strong with the BKB when he shows up.
It'll be hard for Alliance to have that sort of surprise jump with the Blink Dagger revealed on the DK in that last attempt.
They're likely to have to save the Roar in every scenario now for Pure if he's showing up to the fight. Don't want to see them look to make moves, though. Gotta be honest. I want to see Aramis and Nico Baby paired up, or Aramis plus one paired up. Just look for these Mystic Flare kills somewhere on the map. They are just getting out farm, though.
They are. This goal difference, it's going up and up. 3k lead now for Entity.
And I definitely get more and more concerns for like Carolina in this game. Like, sure, it can be a decent Carolina game, especially now that she's found Growth Bow. Best items you can find, but as we mentioned, the Visage, the Nyx, they'll have elements to get on top of her. The Axe is going to come out for that Visage at some point.
Yeah, you're just going to have to be so ready to pop that BKB as the Lina.
Yeah.
You know, like he's got to be on top with his BKB usages. It's not going to be easy.
And then eventually you're gonna have to have a gem on him soon too. Once you see the Visage getting closer and closer to Axe, just so she can be protected for the wraparounds.
Because, yeah, that whole lineup here, Alliance, is very much built around Weehaw.
Exactly.
Living, carrying, doing the damage. If they lose Weehaw in a team fight, it's game over. They have to keep the Lina alive.
And it's so scary for this Lina versus Nyx, as you said. The Carapace, one stun. Pure has a Brigand's Blade also finished up with Haste Druid, so he wants to fight.
Dakalis head straight up into the high ground, trying to start some sort of a fight. Look towards Pure, but Pure pops the BKB. Alliance, they've got to run from this SF. They'll try and get themselves back safely, but already Fishman's in on top of them. The Tombstone drop down. We are pops the BKB in an attempt to turn. They've got the stun controller onto Limitless. Is 3 dead on Alliance.
And it's right next to Roche.
They're going to move straight into there. They have insane amounts of damage here with Pure on the SF.
It is they didn't even have to use Exorcism for the fight. Oh man. Yeah, it's incredibly dead as we see Pure stands his ground. BKBs just charges into everybody, gives the opportunity for the supports to walk up and get free spell casts.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a very difficult area for Alliance to try and start the fight. And they still wanted to do exactly that, Ro, with sort of Carlis checking out things on the high ground. You know, fighting into this sort of area when Tombstone and such is ready, it's not easy for Alliance. They've got to kind of catch an Entity from sort of unsuspecting angles.
They have to blow someone up before fight starts, really. Like as soon as like the BKB-SF walks up and starts zoning 2 heroes, it's disaster. They have to get the initiation really on Alliance, or quickly the fight will turn.
And this, yeah, this blink dagger on Katomi's definitely going to make sure that the Weehar's got his work cut out. He's got to be so ready for this Nyx assassin to just throw itself at him, and as you say, he just cannot throw out his Dragon Slaves and Light Strikes without popping a BKB in these team fights. If Katomi sees sort of the arms go up from Weehar, the potential of a stun coming in, he's going to be Carapace blinking in on top of his teammates. So every play has to be started with BKB from Weehar.
It's definitely really scary because it feels like he needs the BKB just to stand his ground in the fight, and he just has so much work cut out for him because he needs to also hit egg. He needs to be the killer. As Pure, we see his next item revealed. He's going to be going Silver Edge for the DK. Right, that would be very nice. Also, the reverse damage he's going to get from it's going to be pretty huge.
Yeah, he's going to hit so hard. I mean, he already is.
And Stormer, the Aghanims is pretty much done. So now he has, he's taking some time to recover, of course, as this Visage, but now is where his game explodes, where Skywrath, Enchantress, Lina, these 3 heroes in particular, they're just food for the Visage. When he has a
secured their structures. Radiant structures are fortified.
Both teams, of course, having pretty decent push. Overall, though, you would imagine that Entity have the lineup that's going to push that little bit harder, so eventually Alliance will have to react.
They have the presence, aura. So Pure, he's just taking the tier 2 by himself, bottom.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
They're going to try and smoke up. Keep Pure revealed down bottom, so Alliance might not expect the rest of Entity to be swinging back at them as quickly as they are. Entity, they'll head back over to the jungle. Stormstormer looking to start things. Look towards Aramis. They'll turn with the Ancient Seal and the Roar onto Stormstormer, but they cannot stick around to finish him off as Aramis gets taken out. Limitless tries for the TP, but Pure, he's back over, and with the fit, clean up the 2 of them.
And they're knowing their strength now. Fishman, he has the gold for the mech, and he just says nope. He buys a gem. They know how much ahead they are now at this point. They can just walk down, clear all the vision, keep controlling areas, and pretty much all these fights will be theirs now for Katomi and Stormstormer. With the gem, they're not going to be able to detect. They're not going to have enough money to put sentries down constantly to keep tabs of these 2. So it's really difficult now for Alliance.
Things are really speeding up. Just 22 minutes in, and yeah, Entity 6K might not be the biggest of number differences, but the map control and the way that they're making these moves, taking these objectives, and Alliance, they're having to play very, very scared. And turning up into a fight against Entity right now, it seems borderline impossible.
Yeah, and now, no vision on the map whatsoever. You have the one ward at least on the high ground for the moment still that'll last for the next, couple seconds until Entity makes their way back over, but Entity's just going to look to fight you, and you're not going to see them coming because it's a Nyx Vendetta and a Visage just invising right through your lineup, right up the high ground.
Radiant's middle tower may need a hand.
So let's see. How do they keep Weeha protected? Do they have sentries on anybody right now? No sentries on anyone, as I think.
Let's see. I'm still there. Here comes the smoke.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we're good.
He's going to find Dakalis. A couple of hits. Literally a couple of hits. Dakalis is gone. Same to be said for Aramis. Weeha, he'll make it out in time. Playing a bit risky there, going for the TP out without popping the BKB. He'll get away with it.
And now look, they still have wards in enemy jungle. Nico Baby and Weeha spotted.
Oh, you don't want to step into this territory if you're Alliance.
A flurry of TPs.
Alliance, no. They know not to go here.
He's getting walloped.
But where are they going to go, though? Like, where do they go? The whole map is constricted. Visage is taking top, can't show mid or bottom.
Radiant's top tower is gone.
Entity has fully hidden their stride, and it's with their it's a very comfortable style draft for them, too, with this Visage. He has the armor corruption now at 15 as well, so crazy.
On the hunt for Stormstormer. They will find him.
Big kill. It's a gem.
Radiant's middle tower.
And yeah, then looks like they'll get away with this completely free. Entity not willing to make a move with their Stormstormer Visage being taken down.
That's the biggest kill they can find on the map, because now it gets some gems, so now they can look to even play around and control perhaps some of that vision versus this Nyx and Visage.
So what do you go for now if you're Alliance? What's the next move?
If you want to try to fight, you play and camp around the high ground, so you see this Nyx assassin kind of walk in. If not, you might get ready to back up soon. You have to address your side lanes. can't quite sit on it. It looked like they wanted to sit on that ward for a second there, but yeah, other two lanes. Now, Pure with the DD might have a position here to wrap around on Alliance. Uh-oh. Gonna maybe get one shot.
Nature.
Two shots would do it. He's hesitant about stepping up though, Pure.
One hit. Got the shard now finished too, so there's the fear. Yeah, Stormstormer is looking to charge in and play around his vision. Who's carrying the gem? It was Ducalis. Yeah, Ducalis is carrying. I think maybe you want to give it to one of the two cores. Because they have to be protected from this Visage.
Sure, because you said you want to see on Weehaw, right?
I mean, he just doesn't have a slot for it.
I mean, he will once the MKB's done. He kind of does.
I think he might have to. I think he might actually have to carry it himself with MKB. Him or Nico. So one of the cores. I'm scared for Ducalis carrying it because I feel like he can just get two-shotted. Literally.
Let's have a look. Alliance having to back up to the high ground. Entity still bringing in the pressure.
They still can't quite claim a high ground when everyone's alive, and they didn't get to clear out of these big cliff wards.
Doesn't matter too much if you see this SF whilst he's invis if he's taking you down in 2 hits.
True. Now they're just pushing in the side lanes. Entity playing the map really smart. Top's gonna push naturally, and then bottom is being shoved in, so they're forcing Alliance to perhaps fight them here. Maybe go for a cute little wraparound here.
This could catch him by surprise.
Get on Pure.
And they get the jump on the SF.
They see the hawk. They have the hawk there.
Oh, it's a good start. It's a very good start. In with your Dragon Tail. I see somebody get the BKB off.
He's dead.
Okay, they got the kill. Now, can they get more? They're over towards Fishman. We'll see Toby heading straight away into the middle of the fight with the Exorcism. We'll get the BKB off, and he'll start to force back Alliance. Lose Aramis.
Nico, baby.
Sort of pushed off towards the side. Katsumi's in with the stun. He'll get separated from the rest of the team. He'll turn with the Dragon Tail stun, falls to the side. He's trying to run.
He's alive.
And he'll make it. He'll get away from them. As Alliance will still lose to Carlis. Will still opt to continue the retreat. But Katsumi's not going to let it happen. He's in with the jump. He's in on top of Weehaw. Buybacks are coming out now from Alliance. Ducalis will buy back in an attempt to keep Weehaw safe, but they catch him in the stun. Weehaw goes down. Toby cleaning up with the double. They're blocking off as well the escape here from Limitless. We'll get forced to safety.
Toby.
Nico, baby. Trying to get back in him with another stun over towards Toby. They're keeping him control with the stun of the central. Katsumi's into the base, but immediately gets silenced by the Ancient Seal. Entity. They have stepped a little too far up the high ground. Stormstormer goes for the TP out. They won't be able to cancel it, so he'll escape.
All right. Biggest fight possible for Alliance. The initial catch, the chase forward. Nico, baby, somehow survives. I feel like you couldn't ask for more as Alliance when you're at this deficit.
Absolutely. Really good start to the fight and a great angle to strike from. You know, they weren't expecting that Entity.
Yeah, and the angle that they smoked, but also the angle they brought the Hawk in, right? Limitless, he used it and angled it over the Ancients, so the Sentry actually didn't get vision of it for a second. And yeah, they got the immediate jump. Still other things they had to worry about, of course. It's not just, even though Pure is all the way at that top net worth, there is other things Alliance does have to be careful for. Of course, that Visage and that Death Prophet still dealing crazy damage in the fight, but a pretty fortunate fight for Alliance.
Ooh, easy on this SF. You might want to go near him. They're going to drop the Tombstone straight away and maybe look for a chance to take this. At least take the fight. Stormstormer's heading up into the triangle. They're going to look to get the fight started. Nico Baby's in with the BKB, in with the stun. He's on straight away on top of Pure. The SF eliminated. They'll turn towards Stormstormer. Alliance keeping this triangle held safe, making sure that Entity, they don't get any sort of chance to head into the pit. Now Alliance themselves, they'll take out the Tombstone. And I think they'll certainly look to push for this. 2 heroes, the 2 big cores, dead on Entity. An excellent window for Alliance to try for the Roshan.
Entity getting a bit sloppy too, like the way they dropped Tomb to try to commit for that. They need this, if they're going to walk up high ground, they need to drop Tomb on cliff or something to get vision to provide it, but they just walk up blindly, not respecting Alliance's burst damage at all.
Yeah, maybe thinking that they were stronger than they were, and obviously with the DD on Pure, he was ready to punch some heroes, but Alliance, they have the blink stun, they have the initiation.
Yeah, and Weehaw now, he has MKB finished, and an Aegis, so now, back the other way we go. What a series of events.
Well, and they need sooner than ever, they need that 4-star on Katsuomi, right? They've got to have some way of breaking people out of this stun into Mystic Flare combo. Give them a chance to get their BKBs on.
Yeah, the Undying went for the mech, so definitely needing someone to reset it away from it. This is a problem. They've completely shifted the whole. Like it felt pretty close to almost impossible for the Alliance, and they've shifted it.
They have. I mean, look at this. They're top 4, net worth. It's 3 of Alliance. 16 to 16, less than 1K difference.
Sometimes the volatility of Shadow Fiend, we got to see it back to back. You know, he gets caught. Hero can be fairly squishy. Great execution from Alliance.
I mean, yeah, excellent play around that triangle. You know, off the back of that sort of setup that they went for on Pure, and then the fact that Entity kind of walked into it. See, Alliance now stepping pretty deep, trying to get the action. Go, goodness, you have to slide away from that stun just in time. Of course, did have the Aegis, even if he does get taken down. As it is, he'll lose his 2 supports. They get left behind.
Twice there, honestly. Ducalis' Force Staff may have bailed him out of a horrific situation.
that was some sort of Hollywood level action there with the way that he was kind of drifting away from this Impale chasing him.
It was so close to catching him. Yeah. Like 50 more projectile speed or something on Nick's stun and it catches him. Now he has a Lincoln, so now versus the Boar and the DK stun, Pure is going to be a bit more protected. Also 20, so he's gotten a big damage boost of 60 damage.
Let's see how we are doing after the MKB. 2K gold. I mean, what do you expect he's going to be thinking about next?
Does he want to go any defensive route, or is it going to be the DK? That's what I was thinking. Is he going to go AC or DK? I think DK is, so maybe go Satanic.
Okay, yeah, some sort of tank item.
I think his damage is pretty damn good already, so if he'd like to survive a little more, Satanic. If he wants more damage, just go Daedalus. Or if he wants him to sneak around, perhaps he can still do the Silver Edge and be like kind of sneaky, but... As now Force Staff also queued up from Fishman. They
need the forces.
Katomi has his done, so they'll have one way to reset versus Skywrath. And with Lincolns too, they do have a... Broke it up a little bit though, Anthony.
Do see though how, whilst the last few fights had sort of resulted in the game hitting even on the gold, anytime the passiveness comes back into play, Entity, they do just continue to clean up the map much more efficiently than Alliance. It's already just jumped back up to a 3K lead.
Yeah, Pure, I mean, is still an absolute beast.
That takes him mere seconds to clean a camp.
Yeah, it looks like they're actually going multiple Lincolns. I guess that's probably going to be a solution. Maybe even Toby at some point. It's level 18 now, has the Shard queued up next, but I could see Lincolns on him, Visage, and Shadow Fiend versus DK and Beastmaster. Break their initiation.
Absolutely, yeah. If they could just sort of buff and protect Pure to the extent that he can BKB and just get right clicks off, they're going to be in a pretty good shape in the team fights. See, Axe done for Nico, baby.
Yep, pretty big timing if he's able to hold his ground. A lot tankier, and he did survive in the last situation because he was tanky. This is going to make him even more so.
They could sound like it looks a setup for a play here, Alliance.
Aegis for 1 minute, like you said, yeah.
There's the smoke. These new Lincolns are done. More force potential as well.
Yeah, both done and 1 Force Staff.
And Pure's got the Hurricane, so he himself can slide around.
Well, he can't force himself with his word, but yeah.
True.
He'd save another core.
Can indeed. See, they'll look for a smoke, and sort of a timing where Aegis still on the cards here for Alliance. 40 seconds left on Weeha.
Waiting on the high ground though. Alliance with good positioning. Weeha just hit level 20, so we've got the Fiery Soul stacks, and Aegis 30. And he is going full DPS.
Hell yeah. Love it. MKB Daedalus. He's seen how hard Pure's been hit, and he wants to be able to hit just as hard, if not harder and faster.
Let's see which one it'll be. Will he survive this fight and be able to go Daedalus, or will he die and queue up Satanic? Players.
Very much is, these team fights is going to be, does Pure live and right click the hell out of everybody, or does Weeha?
Yeah. Can Stormstormer get on top of him? We'll see.
Alliance holding the position.
He's under
very patient.
Good ward coverage as well, Alliance.
Yeah. Ward coverage and Hawks, right? I think they have 3 Hawks right now.
Aramis. Very, very quick to blink away there. Entity still want to fight this. Toby seems tempted, but they're going to be able to turn. They get the stun off onto Toby. They'll be able to break him out of the Mystic Flame combo with the first stun. Toby's able to put the BKB. Turns with the side, but there's still the physical damage. He's done it, but we hide the high ground. Just punching them down. They'll turn towards Pure, but the BKB's out, protecting him from the Light Strike Ray. Pure trying to step forward, but Alliance have got the speed to step back.
Both teams lost their tank. They're frontliners. They're both dead.
Get out here. Oh, Carlos, he will get caught. Quick stun and one swipe there from Pure.
And if I'm not mistaken, that was the gem. I think Nico Baby was holding it, right? Yes, it looks like it was recovered by Fishman.
Man? So yeah, both are correct.
Both are right. So yeah, they recover the gem. That's probably the bigger thing. And they get... And the other big thing is actually, Entity were fighting into the high ground. And they come out ahead. So that's a pretty big indicator. The Tombstone gets addressed really quickly, but they're still able to stand their ground with Pure.
It's very much sort of with these Lincolns and 4-star. We are! Oh, get him out of it! That silence, that ancient seal onto Kataomi will very much save Weehar's life. If that ancient seal didn't come out from Aramis, we would have been seeing a dead Lina on our screens.
Yeah. That's also that still comes down to being the big thing is that Lina, if they ever do get on Weeha, she's still unbelievably fragile, more fragile than Pure.
Death tax.
The Arcane Blink, given that chance to jump in, get a quick Requiem off to sort of shake up the fights.
It's the everything that it gives you as well too. It's the Requiem instant, but it's also when you hit 25. You get the Shadow Raise applies attack damage. You have these instant raises that also can apply it. Really cool, actually. This build has become actually even more interesting.
Maybe a dumb question, but a question that maybe other viewers are asking as well. So when you get the 25 Shadow Raise applies attack damage, does that then go through BKB, the attack damage? It does not.
Not that I've seen. I could actually be wrong. I've only seen 2 level 25 Shadow Fiends.
So I imagine the attack damage it applies is physical, right? It's like a sleight of fist as such, but then does that mean it goes through BKB?
I'll
put you on the spot there, haven't I?
You put me on the spot. I mean, this is new. This one's new. I've literally seen this one twice. And I'm not a Shadow Fiend player. I haven't done the test.
If we get to that point.
I'm going to read things.
Much going on at the moment anyway. Both teams holding off the next fight.
It looks like it should not. But...
I mean, you'd imagine because the Shadow Raise doesn't apply.
Of course, yeah. And the Shadow Raise, I believe, is tied to the damage, so it should not happen.
Sure. And it also sounds, if it did go through that attack, yeah, that would be insane.
Because Shadow Raise first sets its damage based on the current stacks, then applies the debuff for increases that, then deals the damage, and then the instant. So that means the Shadow Raise has to apply for the instant.
Yeah.
That's what I read that as. I am stupid sometimes. I did read the Nature's Prophet wrong.
You know.
I did read the Nature's Prophet one as he lost attack speed when he back got buffed, so I did feel quite stupid. Smoke up. Alright, Silver Edge up. High ground.
I mean, at the same position. He's going to walk into this. Now force it to the side. That will keep him safe. So again, very much just seeing how Entity have the tools to enable Pure to go for these crazy sort of moves where he just walks up into the high ground. Keep him alive.
They also know the DK form was popped. So they could look to reset, perhaps, and wait for that. Let's see. Maybe. I mean, it looks like they actually just want to walk right in.
I mean, it didn't go too bad for them last time Entity forced this from the awkward spot of the low ground. They get the jump in over towards the DP. They keep Toby alive. They can't. They'll lose Toby. But can Alliance take anything more from Entity? Because Entity push up towards them. Looks like they'll back off. They respect the buyback here from Toby on the DP.
It's a good assassination. Really nicely done again. And now this time we're seeing the data list really paying off because now they actually have that full burst to kill someone, not even if they get reset and force stabbed away, but with buyback, no DK form.
So they may have got I feel like they've got to try and interrupt this.
Can you though? It seems pretty difficult to deck, so. Here's even gonna lay down the Requiem just in case.
Alright. So you took the kill, you forced a buyback, but Aegis and of course the rest of the benefits, the rest of the drops there from Roshan do fall into the hands of Entity.
Oh, and the DD is actually still here.
Could look for a very hard-hitting move. Entity now.
Almost 25 also on the...
Yeah, he's going to buy it up. He's going to buy up the Arcane Blink now.
He's got buyout in 300. He'll have it after the next. Alliance still camping the high ground. Thing is at the ready. Maybe they're going to try to catch someone before they expect it. It'd be cool.
No, he's not. I was going to say, he's not holding for buyout. He's spending up. Pure's ready to go. ED. Aegis. Fresher shard in the backpack. Alliance, very good at keeping together as a unit, making sure that Entity aren't ever finding anyone on their own.
They're looking like honestly one of the cleanest I've seen Alliance in a very long time about playing around these high grounds.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, this sort of important point of the game, they're playing together. You know, something that, yeah, a lot of times in the past we see them sort of split up, heroes getting caught out. And they're very much playing as a unit, making sure that any move that's done, it's done as a complete squad.
Yeah, exactly. Like the biggest thing is no one's getting picked off from like a Nyx assassin and a Visage invising around or anything like that. They're always sticking together and ensuring that if anyone does get killed, it's because of a fight happening. Hitomi is looking to set up. They saw Nico Baby for a second over here. The fireball on the ground, he could carapace if he... Bit hesitant though.
Nico Baby knowing not to stay any longer in that area.
Yep. Goes back, rejoins the squad. But as you said, you know, during these low moments where Alliance is clamping high grounds, they do fall quite far behind on gold. But he is just chilling, farming, finishing up their next sets of items.
No, I'm saying, I mean, Pure just gets so much money. As soon as he had that Arcane Blink, he pretty much spent up his own money. He's back up to 2,500 gold, so on top of it all, we'll soon have the buyback capability on top of this completed, upgraded dagger.
And yeah, we have Toby now with the Blink Dagger as well too, so in some of these situations where he wants to be the initiator as this Death Prophet, now you can actually BKB Blink in and force some spells onto him, perhaps force Roar. Bit interesting to see they didn't go for the Shard on the Death Prophet. Just feel like every game.
Lions, they'll smoke up themselves. They want to try and take this fight into the Aegis, though. That's the question, because it's still there for 2 minutes on Pure. They attempt for a jump in. Toby's able to get it now. He just full commits. He's in with the BKB off the side of Weehaw with these right clicks. Tears through him. Toby will go down. Dekal is forced to the side as he'll try and run. But he'll get caught by the right click of Pure. Kill for Stormer.
I mean, they got Toby, though. 90 seconds.
There's no DP. So a lack of pushing potential. Yeah.
Perhaps he's telling one of his teammates, he's probably like, guys, one of you needed to link into me. I just got roared. So next time, maybe if he looks to go for this type of an aggressive play.
I mean, Alliance are ready to try for more. They break the linkers, they're in with the combo. Storm's in trouble, they'll get forced to the side, but he goes down. Pure tries to get in on top of Weehaw, but the BKB was off in time, so the Requiem not doing much at all. Weehaw, he's going to be able to keep his distance, get out, and if anything, he's going to be ready to get back in. They'll look towards Pure, they pop through the link because he's been caught by their silence. Pure gets taken down the once. Entity, they're having to buy back to give Pure a chance with his second life after the Aegis.
Nice plays again. Alliance just constantly playing these team fights beautifully, keeping Weehaw protected. Saving Private Weehaw, really. He's able to distance himself. He's able to get these right clicks off constantly.
Yeah, on the Lena.
Almost, now he's pretty much has Satanic done also, so even if they do get on him, he can stand toe-to-toe with Pure. And we saw them kind of duking it out.
I mean, they knew this was the time to go. They're taking out the Death Prophet. This is the time to make your move. And you'll see Pure's attempt to get on top of Weehaw. And even with the quick cast of the upgraded Blink Dagger, the Arcane Blink enables Weehaw immediate with the BKB, able to step out and step back in to make sure they could take that Aegis out of Pure's hands as well. Force these buyback reactions from Entity.
Yeah, causing massive disarray. And solution that Entity needs really is to get on top of Weehaw, but they still just haven't been able to. And okay, Weehaw's actually switching. Scotty's queued up, so I mean, that can also versus the triple range.
All right,
I don't dislike it either.
I think it's fine. I mean, honestly, we're seeing already with the amount of HP that he has. If he gets the BKB off, it's not like he's having to sort of stand his ground. And at the end of the day, if he does, it's likely with the damage he deals that he's going to kill heroes long before he needs sort of any sort of lifesteal to kick in.
I think like this, he can actually man fight the Shadow Fiend and actually just win the fight even without Satanic, because he's just going to slow that attack speed and everything a lot. So cool. DD now at the ready also, so a bit scary for them to fight into this. And they have the AC finished on Nico, baby, so Alliance. Getting very close, even though Entity, they've had a gold lead pretty much the majority of this game.
And it's just, you know, with the items they have as well, you know, the Grove Bow and also the Telescope Aura, you know, We Are just, he's hitting this
so
damage
far.
from a mile away. He's doing it across the screen.
Yeah, that is a really good point. I did not actually notice that they didn't have Telescope too. Able to keep that distance. Stormstormer has hit 25 now. They have an AC of their own to counteract.
Still with a 7k lead, but very much having struggles in these team fights. You know, last time around having to use those buybacks, that was a fight as well, where they had the Aegis. Alliance still able to come out on top.
I feel like we actually are having a mirror from both sides. Look at Pure's next item he picked up. He picked up the Scotty as well too. So they both have a very similar kind of context, it feels like, on both teams, where the DP is the DK and the Shadow Fiend is the Lina.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. And I mean, I hope we get there, but Pure, he's queuing up the Rapier next. But really, for the biggest problem between these two and the way they match up, that despite Pure having the greater amount of gold, We Are on the Lina, he just has that greater reach, right? He can keep outside of the range of the SF.
It's so both. He has the greater reach and he also has the greater mobility. Like, look at Pure moving around the map. Even Silver Edged, 380 move speed. He's crawling around. Lina, like, it's a hasted Lina in every team fight.
Like,
so
you have got to.
It's crazy.
I mean, as you said time and time again, they have to get on top of We Are. They've got to get us done. There's no other way that Pure's going to get the chance to punch into We Are. He's going to be slipping around the place. Now, if they don't stop
a Stormstormer though, so this is another bit of a big damage element though. An extra familiar does change things a lot too for a Visage. The ports, as we've seen them just die instantly, now they die. Now even maybe an extra one can go down. The 25 now finished up for Weehaw. He has the finishing card, so also what we can see is he can have a Lincoln's Breaker through BKB now with the Laguna, because he has hit 25, and he also has a way to finish off targets once they...
We've got the money here pretty much for Skadi and buyback gold on top of that.
And they have double Roar also, Limitless. We did see him finish up his refresher also on the Beastmaster. He might... I mean, he's very close to having not enough mana though.
See what happens around the pit. 1 minute until Roshan.
This next fight's going to be absurd. We have to watch for the Lincoln's breaks. We have to watch for...
You got to watch for the buybacks.
And the buybacks. How many are even left? 3 on the side of Entity, 1 on the side of Lion.
Okay. The Entity with that outpost will have the easier element of access to get back to the pit if they need to throw second lines in around this. So definitely something that Alliance will have to consider. If they go for a fight around Roshan, they'll almost certainly have to deal with 2 rounds of Entity's cores.
And they do have to make sure that the split push is also taken care of. As we see the birds now starting to put some pressure on the bottom. Now we see edge creeps pushing out mid. Both teams, as we said, both teams doing very similar kind of things this game. Entity though, like it's really similar. Like every time the game goes a little static, a little stable, they get a big net worth lead. But Alliance, it doesn't seem like that net worth matters in these fights. They have what they need.
Round with the smoke. Sort of angles have caught Entity by surprise before in this game.
Yeah, let's see. They have the Hawk flying over.
He's going to be in position to stop it this time.
Instant scan. A DD now for Pure again. Full Moon Shard as well in his inventory. He sells the Hurricane Pike.
Okay. I mean, he really needs to get on top of the Lina then. You know, sacrificing, you know, losing out now even more in the attack range war between the two of them. Oh, they'll come in for the Roshan, and Alliance, they've started to drift away a little bit from the pit. Next on. Sure, he'll be able to grab the Aegis. Second refresher shard now amongst them.
And he has full
second
cheat. It's a essentially full slotted Shadow Fiend when he eats Moonshard and buys his last item.
Certainly got the money to do so. So now, Alliance, they've got a real test for them now. Can they deal with this Aegis SF, refresher shot on him, refresher shot on the DP, cheese on the Visage, cheese on the DP. Pretty much 2 sets of Roshan's benefits that Entity have ready to push and fight with.
But if they can keep Weehaw alive, if he can keep the distance, maybe he can still do it, because he's done it so many fights in a row.
It really is that sort of situation where he may be 16k behind the SF's net worth, but no, absolutely. They keep him alive, Weehaw can carry.
Oh, Lucalis, this might actually be the first pick off of the game, it feels like. Does get grabbed up dead for 75. Now they got to be a little cautious.
Absolutely, yeah. One of the reasons why the kills are as close as they have been, that any sort of engagement, it's been just both teams just bashing heads against each other. So trades have always happened.
Yeah, and we've been mentioning Weehaw nonstop, of course, because he's the carry this game. But did want to just give him even more credit. He's 22 of the 23 killed.
That's insane.
Pretty awesome game from him.
Again, even though Entity have this lead and have all these drops from Roshan, they're not rushing down a lane. They're not looking to completely force this.
No, they are getting some. I mean, still continue to get some pretty big items. I mean, Stormstormer has 8,000 gold, and Toby has A on disc. They get the jump.
And here's the damage. You see this here with the raw control. We'll be able to get the stone form off. And the birds in as well. A couple of stuns out onto Weehaw. They'll have to force him back to safety, but now Weehaw is ready to turn. Forces out for Toby. Jump for Katomi's in. He gets the stun onto Weehaw. Weehaw's in trouble. He's gone. That's what they had to do, and they'll do it there. The buybacks will come out from Alliance. See if they can continue to fight back at this. They've lost their racks, though. Weehaw so careful. There's the BKB pot. Stays on top of Pure. The right click coming in. Pure's on the ones. Weehaw now turns towards Stormstormer. They're on top of those BKB stun and comes around. Weehaw has to keep his distance. Getting himself back towards the fountain. Toby able to blink away as Nico Baby's in on top of them. Tries to turn towards Pure, but he's caught by the spike carapace. And that's Aramis. Dieback out for 80 seconds. Entity, they get the racks on the top lane, and they're ready to go for more.
It's so scary for Weehaw. He has no BKB, no buyback.
He's stepping up.
One stun and he could just die.
He's got to be so cautious. He dies in this game over Pure. The Requiem, Weehaw's off to the side. Immediate buyback from Ducalis. Weehaw tries to turn. He's looking towards Pure, but a 4-star gets Pure outside of the way. The range of Weehaw's Lina. Now turning towards Katomi. They'll open up for the Raw. They'll take him out, but the damage, it's been done again. The mid set of racks also cleaned up by Entity.
Man, it's the way it all kicks up and leads up to it too. They had to actually use, if they had a roar available, they would maybe be able to do something, but the fact that the double roar was initially used, this is of course at the start of everything, on this Visage that gets the stone form off, this actually makes it really awkward for them to get into these further catches for Weehaw. So it's caused a lot of buybacks from Alliance and they're not able to get much back out of it at all. Yeah, we see that again, the double roars come out, but he's fine. I guess he got the stone form off mid-animation of the second one.
Vulnerability of the Lina here. A Weehaw, one jump, and he's dead. Immediate buyback, but having to play so careful as he dies in this window where buyback's not available. It could be game over. But despite, the Alliance, they're going to take the risk. They're going to try and push back straight down the mid. They're onto the mid barracks. So see the jump. Pure, he's in with the BKB. Immediate reaction there for Weehaw. He knew Pure was going to go for the play. Gets the BKB off in time. They'll force back now. Have to be careful, they have to run. Toby tries to chase down, they'll turn their attention over towards Nico Baby at the side, but Nico Baby's got his own BKB up and ready. Pops the BKB, TP's out, he'll get away. Alliance, they're able to back off.
Again and again, gets the BKBs off, able to reset away from Pure. I'm glad they have the, that takes a lot of confidence though. Like, even though they're so far behind, just being able to go and even knock on the doors of Entity's base like that's, I got to give them some credit, even though they're far behind it. They have like the boldness to kind of do that. Now they have to try to deal with this incoming massive push. All lanes pushing in as well.
I'd say it's only getting tougher and tougher for Alliance.
And there's no BKB for 45 for Weehaw.
One jump and
one carapace on a Dragon Slave. He probably dies. Anything like this. But Entity, they also don't have their BKB. They'll back it up and wait a moment.
Four minutes in now.
Power Rune in 2. They're gonna be another DD.
Another DD.
Jeez, how many of those this game? I feel like I've only seen a couple of like the Invises and these Illusion, these that nobody wants ruins. You're getting blessed. Look at those 1,600 crits on the Shadow runes.
Lions just got to hold themselves in the base, wait for the inevitable push. And they've had some good smokes this game. Maybe the move that gets them back in is some sort of crazy play outside of the base.
Oh, fighting in open territory versus the Visage and Nyx is that's the toughest ask for them. Claiming a high ground perhaps, but fighting in the open field, I wouldn't recommend.
Flaming Blink done. Now for
Full
the DK.
refresher on the Shadow Fiend also. He didn't get the Rapier yet. Maybe that'll be his 8th or 9th item.
He's queuing it up once again, but we've been disappointed before. I'm prepared to be disappointed again. As yeah, there is no more sensible item for him to buy. He's completely done. Completely, as you'd expect to be if you're walking around with 53k net worth. Completely done with the build.
Right.
Storm's going to find them. On top of the Hex, the Force.
You told me
maybe out the side. They're on top of it, they've got the stun, they've got the fear, they've got the kills! Outside of the base. And that will be that. Dead, no buyback.
Killing spree.
They tried to go for that risky move, but yeah, straight away in with the stun. They're gone. GG's called. Entity will be able to take this game one. A long one though at that, 55 minutes in. Now, Lions, they tried their best, but at the end of it all, it was always going to have that sort of vulnerability.